A major flood has forced the evacuation of tens of thousands of people in southern China. The floodwaters are reaching unprecedented levels and are likely to worsen in the coming days. The evacuation centers have been prepared to accommodate a huge number of people, but the influx of people may exceed their capacities.
Flood, and that people went to the subway instead, where they were trapped by the flood. So far, the authorities have said that 12 people have died in downtown Zhengzhou. That does not include the people who might have died in the countryside. We will see probably the death toll of this catastrophe, of this calamity much later.
Amid rising waters and the threat of landslides, parts of Guangdong's manufacturing hub have been suspended. In Jiangsu province, almost 500,000 people have seen damage to their homes and their lives uprooted. Roughly the same number have been affected in Guangdong, largely in the cities of Shaoguan, Heiyuan and Meizhou. The heavy downpours have caused extensive damage to roads and houses, car accidents, and lost crops. Authorities have issued a red alert for possible floods and landslides, and more rain is likely in the days ahead.
In Anyang City, residents were evacuated by an excavator and many others were rescued by boats. According to the latest data coming in, more than 73,000 people were being evacuated from the city of Anyang. The region has now been swamped by more than 600 millimeters of rainfall since Monday. Some areas where the downpour has stopped temporarily have launched cleanup operations. Dozens of vehicles were seen in a pile-up, disrupting traffic.
In Zhejiang province north of Guangdong, rescue crews in small boats are using inflatable rafts to bring people trapped in their homes out of the floodwaters. Storm warnings have been issued in many eastern provinces, including Beijing, due to the potential for large-scale flooding. Reservoirs in central Henan are currently high and releasing water downstream rapidly. This summer, China has been experiencing widespread flooding, most noticeably in central and southern areas that typically receive a lot of rainfall. This has been the worst flooding in decades in some parts of the country, and it comes on top of stricter COVID-19 regulations that have been causing a lot of difficulties for travelers, employers and everyday life in a lot of areas of the country. The government has invested heavily in flood control and hydroelectric projects such as the massive Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River. The dam has prevented devastating flooding in cities like Shanghai and Beijing and helped power millions of homes and businesses.
Rainfall in some areas of China has been the heaviest in 60 years as the first bout of summer rains known as Dragon Boat water peak. State weather forecasts reported that heavy rainfall will persist in several provinces of southern China until early next week. China has been prone to summer flooding for years, but in recent times it has become more vulnerable due to deforestation and climate change.
China has seen a spate of devastating flooding in recent years. In 1998, over 2,000 people died and nearly 3 million homes were destroyed, mostly along the Yangtze River. The most recent flooding, which began in July, has left over 670 people dead and more than 12 million people homeless. As the Earth's climate continues to change, more intense tropical storms are forming. These storms can cause increased flooding and damage, which can lead to death, loss of crops, and loss of groundwater.